Hi. Okay, today is October 28th, 2015, and this is video 4 in the CompleteWebDIYCourse.com, and the accompanying site for that course is somewhat of an acronym for that phrase. It's TCWDIYC.com. There is a Twitter account associated with it, and it's at TCWDIYCCOM. And the email address that you can contact me at is, one moment here, let me make sure I give you the exact correct email address. You're going to go to tcwdiyc@gmail.com, and you can see all of those pieces of information in the thumbnail for my video at the very beginning. So if you go to the very beginning and pause it, you can probably see it there. Okay, so if you are stumbling across video 4, you really need to watch all of these videos from the beginning in order. If you happen to watch one out of order, you're still going to learn some great stuff. I'm really excited about this video. I promised in video 3 that we were going to launch our homepage. Now, it's not going to be the completed homepage, but it's going to be a homepage nonetheless, and then we're going to build it together as the course goes on. So before we jump into that, I need you to do a few other things. I hope that all the steps and information taken in videos 1, 2, and 3 went well for you. If not, send me an email. I'll get back with you as soon as I can and get you squared away. So some things you might want to take some notes on. Make sure you have your notepad and your pen. There is a website I want you to write down, and it's called PageColumn.com. That's P-A-G-E, just like page in a book, page, and then column, like a column on a chart, C-O-L-U-M-N.com. So PageColumn, all one word, .com. This is a site I just want you to have in your notes. It's a great site to go try and figure out how to use. I'll probably do some detailed tutorials with it later. This site mostly does XHTML files. We're doing HTML5. Eventually I'll do a tutorial that gives you a little history about all the versions of HTML and CSS. It's really pretty interesting, and it helps you have an understanding of how the web changes and why the web changes and why coding changes and why web browsers change and why operating systems change and all these sorts of things. What influences the change, who's in control of the changes, and how can we do a great job as web developers and do a great job as website owners in spite of those changes. So anyway, that's, let me check that off here. So I mentioned PageColumn, and later we're going to do maybe a history, a brief history on HTML, XHTML, etc. Okay. Another quick thing I want you to do is go to a website, pull up your favorite browser. I usually use Google Chrome. Sometimes I use Edge or Internet Explorer. Google Chrome and Edge are my most frequently used browsers currently. And I need to make sure I get you to the right site. And I'm taking a few steps on my new computer and testing them out to make sure that they're still exactly correct before I give the steps to you. It only take a moment. Sorry, this is taking so long. Oh, there we go. This new computer that I have, I'm actually filming on one computer and then doing some other things on the other computer, and then I have an extra monitor, so it's kind of helping me to multitask. Okay, so in the meantime, while you're waiting for me to do this, what you can do is check out something really cool. On your desktop, if you're in Windows 10, on the bottom left where it says Search the Web in Windows, you can click right there and type in the word Notepad. Okay, just type in the word Notepad, all one word, don't hit enter. Some options are going to shoot up to the top, but at the very top you're going to see Notepad Desktop App, and I want you to right click there and say Pin to Taskbar, and then click back into like the blank space in the background of your computer screen. Now double click on the new symbol. It looks like a light blue little notepad with some white pages in between. Double click on Notepad and open it. Okay, and say File, Save As, and your file name, you're just gonna type the words plain text document, and then the Save As type is gonna say text documents parentheses .txt. And then you're going to want to make sure on the left where it says Organize, you double click Desktop to make sure it's going to be saved to your desktop. And then take that icon and pull it over to where you have your the link to your index file. Just put it next to it or beneath it. Now, Notepad, while I'm multitasking here, still working on that over there. Okay, desktop icon, yes. Next. Program files, next. Install. Okay. Alright, so sorry about that. So your text document that we just made is a Notepad file. For years, I used to use Notepad to make my HTML files, my index files, my homepage files for websites that I built. I just use Notepad. It's something that comes on Windows, and if you name it index.html, it will run the homepage of a website. It's pretty cool. It's totally free. The only downside to it is it doesn't have like as many awesome features as Sublime Text Editor does. Sublime Text Editor has this, one of my favorite features in it is, let's say you made a web page and you have a line of code and you realize that it was wrong or that you need to change it or update it. And this section of code happens to be repeated, I don't know, 2,000 times in that page of code. Well, there's this great feature where you can find and locate all at once every single line of code that contains that phrase, and then you can edit them all at once. So rather than going through and individually editing thousands and thousands of lines of code, you can just basically edit one and all the others will edit immediately with it. So Sublime just does tons of incredible things. But plain text editor, it's good to always have a text file saved to your desktop and to have text editor linked to your taskbar at the bottom, because it comes in handy for a lot of other things, but you won't want to use it as your primary developing file editor. So I'm going to finish up the steps on this over here. And it looks like it's worked perfectly. Perfect. Yes. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to have you do is, let's see. We talked about Notepad. We made the shortcut. Okay. The next thing I'm going to have you do before we make our first web page live for our homepage is you're going to download something called Filezilla. Filezilla is this great little thing, and you enter in, once you have it downloaded and you open it up, you're going to have a quick link to it on your desktop, and there's going to be you can make a quick link on your taskbar at the bottom as well. And what's awesome is, if you know what to enter into the spaces for host, username, password, and port, then you hit Quick Connect. And you choose the directory on the left side, and you choose the directory on the right side. The directory on the left side is your home computer, and the directory on the right side will be your hosting plan files. It will link into your hosting plan files without you going to the hosting plan website, without you logging in on that website, and you can update and change those files really quickly that way. And you will have to use Filezilla if you're going to upload really large files, like if you have an HD video or lots of HD pictures that you want to upload and you want to do it, you just want to put a big list and say, computer, I need you to do all of these and transfer all these files. You're going to have to use this. But for really small files that are mainly just code and not big images or big video, you'll be able to log into the oneandone.com site for that. So I want you to download Filezilla, and the way that you're going to do that is, I'm going to get mine pinned to taskbar because I'm just now putting it on this new computer. I already have it on the other one. Okay. You're going to go to your browser and go to google.com and type in the search bar Filezilla, Z-I-L-L-A, all one word, Filezilla, and hit search. Okay, you're going to find a website called Filezilla-project.org, and dash is just a dash, okay? It's not like anything else, it's just a little dash, like you're connecting two words. Filezilla-project.org, and you're going to choose, if you're working on Windows like I am, there's two gray curved squares, and one says download Filezilla server, Windows only, and you're going to click on that. And then there's going to be a green bar that says download now, trusted for open source, and you're going to click on that, and everything after that you're basically just going to say yes, tell it yes, this file is safe, At the bottom, there's going to be a box that pops up, and it's going to ask you, do you want to run or save this? You want to run it because it's installing something, so you need to run the executable file so that it will install it. So you don't want to save it, you want to run it. Just keep saying yes and agreeing to everything it's asking you. It's a safe file. And then during the setup process, it's going to ask you, there's going to be some little boxes with check marks, and one's going to say, do you want a desktop icon? You're going to click in there, make sure there's a check mark as well, and then continue, and then you're going to complete it. And then after that, you're going to have a red icon on your desktop that has FZ in it, which is Filezilla client. If you right click on that icon, you can choose to pin it to your taskbar as well, so that icon will always be at the bottom of your screen. And yeah, so that's that. So let me check that off here. So I will explain in more detail how to actually utilize Filezilla, but now you have it there for when we get ready to use it. We're almost there. We're almost there for our first quick little file. Okay, so now we're going to do something else. I want you to pull up your favorite web browser again. Lately, Edge has been really quick and helpful. It works different than any other browser. I don't know why sometimes Google Chrome is not always performing like perfectly the way it always has since I have this Windows 10. But anyway, Windows 10, Google Chrome, Chromium, Internet Explorer, you might use some other kinds of browsers, whatever you're comfortable with. So if you pull up Edge, you can have to search things rather than typing in the web address, which I don't like that. But anyway, type in any search in any browser, you can type in W3Schools.com and hit enter. So the letter W, the number 3, the word schools, and then .com. And then off to the far right, there's going to be a little search icon. It looks like a magnifying glass. You're going to click one time on that, and then a search bar is going to pop up, and I want you to type color space picker and then hit search, and then some search results are going to pop up. It's going to be blue, green, and black, blue, green, and black, and so forth. And then the very first one in that list should be HTML color picker. And then there's a green address that ends in colorpicker.asp. So click on that blue title. Okay, and this is the link that you want to save to your desktop. So I'm going to copy that and go into Internet Explorer. So I copied the web address, which is w3schools.com/tags/ref_colorpicker.asp. So when I pull up Internet Explorer and I click in the web address bar, it highlights everything. And after I do a Control-C and copy on the other web address, I'm going to do a Control-V and paste and hit enter. And by putting this in Internet Explorer, I'm going to close out Edge. By putting this in Internet Explorer, or by putting it in Google Chrome or Chromium or whatever browser, the little icon that's next to the actual web address, if you press down your left clicker and then drag your mouse onto your desktop, you'll be able to create a shortcut to that page. And that's a page, as a web developer or designer, you always want to be able to quickly access, because I'm going to double click it and open it back up. This is where you get your code to specify a color. if you want a solid colored background, if you want to specify the color of your text, if you want to specify the color of a link that has been clicked on, a link that has not been clicked on, a link that you're hovering over. You can just get the most beautiful, beautiful, brilliant colors and color schemes, and you just find the color that you want and you click on the color and you say, oh, I like that color. And you can even hold things up next to your screen and see, is this the color that's on this page? Because I really like the color scheme on this page. And then off to the right, you'll see something called hex, and it's a pound symbol or a hashtag, and then 6 characters that are either letters or numbers, and these are coded colors. So it's something that is a really handy tool you will always be using. So we've covered the color picker and the shortcut to that. Just for fun, I'm going to pin that to my taskbar too. So things that are tools for building your website are great to go ahead and pin to your taskbar. You right click on the desktop icon and you tell it to pin to the taskbar. That's just how you do that. And then you can move the desktop icon into your recycle bin, and then you do right click on the recycle bin and choose empty recycle bin and say yes. So now your desktop stays nice and clear, and you have this beautiful section of tools at the bottom of your machine that you're using to do everything with. Okay. There's one more thing I'm going to touch on before we do our very first homepage, and it is Microsoft Office. If you're working on a Windows 10 machine, in the very bottom left corner there's a icon that looks like 4 windows. So you're going to click one time on that with your left clicker, and you're going to scroll down until you see probably what's going to be a dark orange square, and it says Get Office if you don't already have it. And when you click on that, what I have on my 3 computers is 2 of them, when I bought them, came with 1 year of free Microsoft Office. And that includes a lot of things, a lot of different things, but Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook are a few. OneNote, oh, there's something else, Access. But there's some people don't know this yet, but a really great thing about Microsoft Office is the Excel program is really going to come in handy at times when you're web developing, especially if you're copying and pasting and transferring data or charts. And if you can't afford to buy the whole program outright, or you don't want to spend that much money right now, you can actually subscribe to this thing, which is what I did on one of my other computers, where you pay like a tiny monthly fee. I think it's maybe like $7 or $8 a month, and you get the complete Microsoft Office package. And that's that. And they'll give you like an activation key. You'll probably create a email address that ends in @outlook.com that goes with that key. So sometimes you might need to log into that account in order to access it. But once you have it and it's downloaded onto your system, you don't have to be online to use those. But they're great for school, they're great for work, they're great for accounting, they're great for web developing, for, you know, certain aspects of web developing. Okay, so we talked about that. Okay, I think we're ready. So we are going to create right now, and I'm so excited, our very first file for our web page. And I need to make a note now about the Filezilla. I'm going to give you directions in video 5 for how to log in and upload files with Filezilla. How to, because that's really important to know. So we're just, right now what we're going to do is we're going to log into one-on-one. So let's get logged into oneandone.com. I'm going to pull up Internet Explorer, hit the address bar, and type in the number 1, the word and, the number 1.com, and hit enter. Okay, and now I am going to hit log in. And if you remember from video 3, your customer ID number was sent to you in an email. And the customer ID number that I need to use right now I have here. You should have yours written down, or you can find it in your email. If you need to pause, go ahead and do that now. Okay, so let's get this punched in here. And then your password you created earlier, hopefully you remember what that is, or you have written it down. And I'm going to choose to save my password. Usually I save my passwords throughout the day as I'm using browsers in case I need to get back into something quickly. Then at the end of the day I go in my settings for every single browser that I've used, and I clear the complete history since the beginning of time. Any single file type that was saved in my history or my cache, I clear it all out at the end of the day. Okay. So I see Unlimited Pro 1-month term, and then beneath that I see Instant Domain. Now, when I set up this 1-month Pro, I did it over the phone this time because I was actually setting up some other things for other accounts during the same phone call. And they told me they were going to link the domain to the hosting package, so I'm assuming that that's done, but it might not be yet. But we're just going to go with it because I can fix that if it's not. Okay, so when you're in your hosting package, don't worry about the domain part right now. It may be linked in, it might not be linked together. If not, we're going to fix that together really quickly. Scroll down for now and find where it says hosting. It's going to be on the left. And then underneath that hosting menu, just there's so many options in here. Don't let it overwhelm you. Kind of look down the list. You're going to see easy and quick. Ignore that. Manage web space. Look down a little bit farther. Then you're going to see something called Web Space Explorer. Click on Web Space Explorer. Okay, and then what you're going to see here is kind of like a miniature version of what Filezilla does. It's a place where you can transfer files from your computer into your hosting account, which is like your borrowed computer, your big server, your fancy computer that makes your website go live on the internet. Okay, so you may even see there's already an index.html file there. It's like probably a placeholder page that they put in there just so that when someone goes to the site, it's not just emptiness or giving an error code or anything like that. Sometimes it'll say, some companies will put one in there that says, you know, future home of something wonderful, or sometimes companies will put an automated one in there that just advertises for their company to hold the place until you put something that's your content there. So right now I'm going to open up my index file in Sublime. And I'm going to do this by, okay, the icon on the desktop, I'm going to move my mouse over top of it. A little square is going to highlight. I'm going to right click one time, and you're going to see open, and then beneath that you're going to see open with Sublime Text 2, which is really cool and unique, because if you look 3 more lines down, you'll see something called open with, and then there's an arrow, and if you go there, you can choose between all these different programs that you want to open a file with. But somehow Sublime Text Editor, the programmers programmed this in a really cool way to where it knows the file type and it suggests Sublime Text 2 right off the bat. So that's what you want to choose. Open with Sublime Text 2. It's the second choice. So your index file is opening on your computer, and right now it's just an empty file. Okay, so I am going to tell you what to type here. Okay, here's what we're going to type, and eventually there will probably be a screen capturing demonstration of this that I will add in.
And I'm also going to give you some files linked to some source code later on. But for now, you're just going to have to type along and pay attention. So let's get started on the world's simplest first file here. So you're going to type a less than symbol, an exclamation point, then type, turn on your caps key, type DOCTYPE, turn off your caps key, hit the space bar, then in lowercase letters just type HTML, then type a greater than symbol, and then hit your enter key. Now you're going to type less than symbol, HTML, space, LANG, equals sign, quotation mark, EN, dash, capital U, capital S. Now when you're in Sublime, sometimes it anticipates things that you're going to need to type. So right here, when I started a quotation mark, it pretty much knows that you're going to need another set of them. So a lot of times you'll be typing and you'll look up and it'll have already put in the other set, which is really cool. But you have to keep your eyes back and forth on the screen, or you'll end up typing things you don't need to type. So you have the EN dash capital US in parentheses now. So you're going to use your arrow key and you're just going to arrow over once to the right to get on the other side of those quotation marks. And then you're going to type a greater than symbol. And then you're going to hit the enter key or return key. So basically, it's kind of like code tags have these symbols like this, and they hold information inside of them. And sometimes the whole tag will be encompassed in this, and sometimes just the first part of the tag will be encompassed in these two symbols. And then sometimes you'll have like a set of these at the beginning, and then you'll have a slash, and then a set of these at the end, and then sometimes you'll have another little thing at the end, and there'll be a slash inside of it too. It sounds confusing, but it's really not. I promise, just stick with this. Once you get the hang of it, and you have one sample set of code down, that's it. Like, it's just easy breezy from there. Okay, so now you're going to do less than symbol, type the word head, like your head, and then type a greater than symbol, hit enter. Then you're going to do a less than symbol, type the word title, then a greater than symbol, and you're going to type the words my first home page, and type it like you would type a title like in an essay. So put spaces in between your words, capitalize the first letter on each word, then hit the space bar, and then put in the name of your website. So in my case right now, as I am developing this course, It's tcwdiyc.com. But yours is going to be whatever the name of your website is. And then after you type those words, you're going to do a less than symbol and type a / and then the word title again, and then a greater than symbol, and then hit the enter key. So a /, the way to remember what a / is versus a / is, okay, if you're writing or reading in the United States, you read from left to right. So if you are progressing from the left towards the right, and you have a straight up and down symbol, and you lean it forward, that's a /, okay? But if you lean it backward, that's a /. All right? So we've got the title in there. Then you're going to put in less than symbol and type in meta, M-E-T-A, meta, space. Let's leave out meta for now. We'll leave it out for now. We can go back and do that later. I just want to get this live for you. We can always add in the other details later. We're going to leave out some things that are that need to be there, that you'll want to have there, but you don't have to have just to go live. These are things like meta name keywords, meta name description, meta name viewport, meta char set, and then there's also another line we'll add in later called link rel icon favicon. Those are just things that I will explain to you later. They're lines of code, and what's great about them is once you have them in there and you have them search engine optimized, you just leave them alone and you never mess with them again unless there's some kind of major change. And they hang out there all the time. These first things that we added to the website are very similar in that way. So now we're going to add a section called, well, normally you would add a section called style. We're going to leave that section off for now as well, just for the sake of getting going. The style section is where you put a lot of your CSS code, okay? And you can have CSS code, which tells how to style the page, things like font size, where things are going to be. You can have that code right on that page, or you can link to it and have it saved in a separate file. I am really partial to having the styles for a particular page right there on that page. That's just how I like to do it. But if I knew ahead of time that I was going to have, let's say, hundreds of pages and they were all going to be different articles, and each article was going to be formatted the same, it was going to have a picture and then like the text article, then yeah, I would create a file with the, that just linked to the styles. So anyway, we're going to leave that alone. We're not going to add any scripts right now. So basically we're just going to wrap up the head section. So we're going to do less than symbol, /, type the word head, and then a greater than symbol. So if you've done this correctly, you have 5 lines of code. The first line has your doc type. The second line specifies language. The third line says this is the head section. The fourth line tells the title. The fifth line ends the head section. And then the next section is less than symbol, type the word body, and then a greater than symbol, and hit enter. So now you have 6 lines of code. And on line 7, I want you to type, hi, this is the future web home page for the site called, and then type the name of your website. So I'm going to type the name of mine, tcwdiyc.com, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Then hit the Enter key, then type in a less than symbol, BR / greater than symbol, and hit the Enter key. You're now on line 9. Do the same thing again. Less than symbol, BR / greater than symbol, hit the Enter key. What that just did is break. It said go to the next line, go to the next line. So those are going to be blank lines right there. And then you're going to type another message and you're going to say, please check back regularly for updates and new and improved website design. Have a wonderful day. And if it's me, I tend to say something like, God bless you. Okay, so then you're going to hit the Enter key, and now you should be on line 11, and line 11 is blank. And what we're going to do is wrap up the body section. Now, I'm scrolling to the bottom of some sample code that I have over here on the right screen. Okay, so to wrap up the body section, you do less than symbol / BODY greater than symbol, Enter. Now you're on line 12, and you're going to wrap up your HTML all together. This is the end of your page, 12 lines. Less than symbol / HTML greater than symbol. That's it. So you've already saved your file previously. You gave it the UTF type, the UTF-8 type. You saved it as an HTML file. So right now we're just saving changes. So you're going to select File in the top left corner and slide down and just hit Save. Don't hit Save As, don't hit Save All, don't hit Save with Encoding, just save. You're just saving the updates that you made to the text that's here in this file. Now you can close this file. I might try to show it to you real quick on the screen and see if it will show up by moving my camera here. Let's see if I can get it to show up this way. I don't know if it will, but this is essentially it. It's showing you a backwards view there, so sorry that this is backwards, but it's just 12 little tiny lines of code, and this will run a web page. Now the body section and the head section, like I mentioned before, there's a lot more things that we're going to add later on, but this is going to get us started. So I close this file. It's saved on my desktop. Its name is index.html. Now I'm going to pull back up Internet Explorer, where I'm still logged in to my Web Space Explorer, and I am going to hover over a symbol. It looks like a computer screen, and it has a little blue arrow pointing up. When you hover over it with your mouse, you'll notice the word upload. You're going to click with your left clicker one time on that upload button. A new box will pop up. It says select files for upload, 1 file per field. Click on Browse. Then on the left where it says Organize, you're going to double click on Desktop, and this will show you everything that is on your desktop, and you will see one called Index, and you're going to left click one time on Index, and it's going to pop up in the file name section at the bottom, and you're going to click on Open, and then your box before where it says Upload, it has the pathway to that file, and then it prompts you to enter in another pathway if you want to, but we're just doing the one pathway to one file. So we're going to click the blue OK button with the left clicker again. Let's try this again. Okay, upload this file, computer. There we go. Okay, Now, in order to test and see if my domain name is properly linked to the hosting account, I'm going to open a new tab in my browser, and then the web address bar is empty, and I'm going to type in my web address. So in this case, my web address is different than your web address because I don't know the name of the website name that you bought, or your domain name, whatever you want to refer to it as. You're just going to type it in. So mine is tcwdiyc.com. Enter. And it's showing the default site. So I'm going to hit refresh. It's still showing the default site. So they may not have linked this domain to the file yet. So I'm going to click on domains on my top blue menu in oneandone.com and say manage domains. Because usually when you upload a file, the changes are instant. And then if they're not showing up instantly, if you refresh that browser tab, then they will refresh and they will appear. So by pulling up my domain center and managing my domains, I can see, aha, they have not linked my domain to this because it says domain s and then a bunch of numbers .onlinehome.us. So I need to link my domain in to this hosting account. So, okay. So I'm going to go into the blue menu where it says My Packages at the right and left click on that one time. And I'm going to see, and you might see this too, and it's no big deal. It's just part of the setup process. Sometimes this happens. Okay, the first thing I see is my first contract, and it's Unlimited Pro 1 month term. That's my hosting plan. Beneath it, there's a second contract number, and it says Instant Domain. So I'm going to click on the blue part where it says 1&1 Instant Domain, and when I hover over it, it becomes underlined, and I'm left clicking on that one time. And if I scroll down, it says domains and then manage domains, and I'm going to click on manage domains. I think because I purchased the domain before I called and purchased the hosting by phone. Like I purchased the domain on the website by myself, and then I called and purchased the hosting by phone. So they made it like 2 contracts, and I have to tell the domain to connect to that hosting plan. So now I'm on the page that says Domain Center, Manage Your Domains. And I'm going to say Transfers. And I'm going to say Move additional domain between packages. You might need to scroll down a little bit and you'll see the domain name. Oh. Did I log into the wrong one? Hang on, everybody. Just one moment. Let me double check my ID here. Here we go. Okay, so get back to where I was talking about because we were in the right place. I'm going to upload this file again. I accidentally uploaded it into the wrong account. But it's okay, I didn't hurt anything. They were both empty accounts to begin with. I'm going to go back to my Web Space Explorer. Just hang tight with me for a second. And choose Upload, Browse, Index, Open, OK. So sorry for the delay, everyone. Okay, then I'm going to switch packages. Another quick note, if you ever need to switch packages, there's a thing that says My Package at the top right, and you can click on that. So I'm going to go to the domain package. And then I'm going to scroll down and say Manage Domains. And then I'm going to choose Transfers. Okay, now I'm in the right place. So sorry to confuse everyone. Move additional domain between packages. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, you will see the name of your domain. And there's a little box to the left of it, and you're going to click one time with your left clicker, and it'll make a check mark, and then beneath that it'll say to. Select the package gaining the domain. So you're going to find where it says Unlimited Pro 1-in-1 hosting. It could say 1-month term, it could say 12-month term. Click on that. That's your hosting plan. So you're just saying, hey, take this domain, stick it in here with the hosting. Okay, check and confirm your selection. So I'm going to check mark that in number 3. I request moving the selected domain to my package under my ID. I fully acknowledge all notes above. Scroll down, choose Move Domain. It's a blue button on the right, and it says Operation Successfully Completed. So I am going to go back to my tab where I had the name of my website typed in. In my case, it'll be tcwdiyc.com, and hit enter. And I'm going to try refreshing it. And in this case, it's still showing the default site. And that might be because when you first link a domain name to your hosting plan, sometimes it takes it just like a few minutes to complete the linking process. Sometimes it could take a few hours, but this company is usually really fast. I'm going to try pulling it up on my other computer really quickly here. Yeah, it's still going to the default site. Shoot. I should have verified that they were linked together before then. Okay. Let's try one more thing because I really want you to see your website live. Okay, if you go back to your list of packages, under your hosting package it says domains. Okay, and because the domain you bought isn't linked to your hosting, it gives you this kind of like generic domain that's really goofy. And mine says S and then a bunch of numbers .onlinehome.us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that silly name, and I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to copy it from the highlighted place and then paste it in the new tab address browser and hit enter. And now I see my page live. So once the system, the server, completes connecting the domain and the hosting together, you're going to see this live. see, and it's going to be backwards over here, but there's just 2 sentences, and it's the sentences that I typed into the body of the website. And it says exactly what I told it to say. There's no fancy styling. The text defaults to black and Times New Roman and left alignment. That's just how it defaults if you don't give it any specific styling instructions. And I'm really wanting our domains to be linked and start working. So I'm going to try one more time out of stubbornness to see if I can get it. It's still going to the default site. Okay, I'm going to call 1&1 really quickly. It says it's moved now. Now when I pull up my packages, it's moved the domain. So I'm going to try again to pull up a browser page and type in the website that I purchased, that I intended to have attached to the hosting account. This is kind of good that this happened because it's something you need to learn how to do. Okay, it might not be totally complete yet. I'm going to pull up my hosting package again. And I'm going to go to my Web Space Explorer, which you just scroll down. You'll see hosting, scroll a little bit more. In light gray, you'll see Web Space Explorer. You click on that, it opens up. You can see your index file. I'm going to upload my index file again, even though I know it's already there. Maybe it will force the system to refresh itself. Okay, and now I'm going to type this in. The name of my website, .com / and then I'm going to type in index.html. Enter. Still going to the default site. Now, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either the domain transfer that I did is going to work, or I'm going to have to call 1&1 customer service number and say, hey, I purchased the domain, then later purchased the hosting. I tried to move the domain into the package. I want this domain name to be the primary domain name for this hosting package. Probably what they're going to tell me is that I need to wait a few minutes or a few hours before it completes the setup. That's probably what they're going to tell me. The other thing that they might tell me or you is, oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me help you. I'm going to walk you through this, or I'm going to do this for you, and we're going to link the domain to the hosting plan, and then you're going to see it, you know, and then it's going to perform normally. So when you go to your web address in the web browser, you type in your website name, your index page will pop up. So I guess what I will do is make a note that in video 5, we're going to make sure, we're going to confirm that the index, domain, and hosting are displaying, and that linking the accounts was successful. And what else? trying to make sure I don't leave anything out here. So you've seen your website go live already. If you typed in the S and the numbers .online.us in your browser, you've seen it go online. That's like the default website name for your hosting plan before you give it like a good name that you bought, right? Okay, so when you link the name that you bought in, then that's what's going to link in. But you just have to make sure that it works, and if it doesn't, then you just call oneandone.com. Anytime you're doing anything with this stuff, oneandone.com has excellent customer service. They've been in the business since, like, I think it's over 20 years, something like that. Let me check really quick, because one of their tech staff was just sharing that piece of information with me the other day. And I've worked with other companies before, and oneandone.com is just, of all the companies I've worked with for hosting and domains, they have been my absolute favorite. Let's search let's see. What year did oneandone.com become established? Well, that didn't find it. Of course, I'm searching with Yahoo. Anyway, I'm wanting to say, he said it was something like 27 years. 27 years. That's what they told me on the phone. It was 27 years, so they told me yesterday, or the day before. About 27 years. And it's 2015 right now, so that's really good. Because a lot of people say the birth of the internet for general use was like around 1984. And I was born in 1984, and I'm 31 in the year of 2015. So for them to have been around for 27 years, they're leaders in their industry. They're good at what they do. When you call their customer service, something that you might notice, and these things could change depending on when you stumble across this video. Their sales team is mostly US based. Their technical support team is largely based in the Philippines. And something that I love about their tech support team, if you get someone that's based in the Philippines, they have beautiful accents, and they are incredibly kind, and they are incredibly helpful. And anytime you talk to tech support, no matter where tech support is located, I really deeply recommend that you call when you can be patient and open-minded and hopeful and positive, because every tech support person is different, and if you are patient and kind and communicate with them well, then they're going to be able to do their best job of helping you. And if they can't help you, then they're going to be relaxed and calm and get you to the person that can help you. They just really have a great team. I love it. And so anyway, I'm going to try one more time to see if this thing is... I want to see it link in. It's still going to the default site. I want to be able to give you guys an exact time frame of when that transfer is going to complete. But it could take a little while. It'll happen. Okay, so I'll see you back for video 5. Anyone that's following along as I'm creating these tutorials, that's awesome. What you're going to notice is that the site that's demonstrating the web developing, the short one that's like an acronym, tcwdiyc.com, you're going to see it develop as we do these videos, as they're released. If you stumble across these video tutorials at the very completion or at the end of the course, or sometime in the future when the course is completed but I'm just adding things that are like new or fun features or more advanced things, you're going to see the website as it has been built up until that point. And then right now, if you're following these tutorials as it's being developed, if you go to a website called thecompletewebdiycourse.com, as of today, October 28, 2015, there's nothing there yet. I'm going to build that site, and it's going to be kind of the companion site to the example site. And the course site itself will basically be, you know, a title, a description, and then a menu for you to choose from, where it's going to have links to each video tutorial, titles of each video, and eventually I'm going to have a part where there's a transcription section of that video. So everything that I say will be typed into words, so you can view it, you can listen to it, you can read it. And then there's also going to be links to files that are copies of source code for each step. And here's another really cool trick I definitely want to show you before we move on. Okay, this is just something anyone studying web design or web development should look at. It just gives you a great appreciation for coding. I want you to open a tab in your browser and type in google.com and hit enter. Now, this is a web page that looks very simple. You see the word Google, you have their little search bar, and then there's some options at the top for, you know, Gmail, images, signing in, their apps and their features, and all those sorts of things. Now, there's all this white space. So I want you to right click on the white space, and the menu bar is going to pop up. And if you kind of browse downwardly, you will see an option that says View Source. And you can do this on any web page. I suggest you go to walmart.com and do it, check out Facebook and do it, go to a website, just any website in the world, and click on View Source. So you left click and choose View Source. And depending on what browser you're using, the section where you're able to view the source, which is the code that is running that page that you are looking at in that moment, is there. And you scroll down, and it will just go on like for thousands of lines sometimes. And you will see things in there that you're sitting there thinking, what on earth? Ours isn't going to look that scary, I promise. Ours is a lot more straightforward and simple. But it just kind of gives you an appreciation for what's there, and it helps you understand that every single page that you view on the internet is a representation of a file that's just a set of directions. It's telling the internet browser what to do, and the browser does it. So I think that's everything. You've seen your web page go live. If you used your s.numbers.onlinehome, your defaulted hosting domain, if it was properly linked to your domain, if your domain and your hosting were linked together, you're already able to just type in the name of your website and see it go live. Otherwise, you need to link them together, and you might have to wait a little while for the linking to happen. But your index file has been successfully uploaded, and you're good to go. So yeah, we'll check back for video 5. I hope that's everything. I just want to share a little side note. I know this particular video was really long, but on this side note, part of why I'm developing this course is because, and I've talked about this a little bit before, I really want it to help people. There are a lot of people who need a second job. There are a lot of people who have a small business they want to expand. There are a lot of people who have wonderfully established businesses who have never used or needed a website, but are at a point where they're like, you know, I'd like to have a website because it would simplify some things that I want to communicate to my customers. It would give a, you know, one place where people could go, and it would help them link to all of our social networking pages and contact us and see our most recent accurate contact information. Or if we have an event going on and we want our customers or our church members or whoever to be aware or participate, they can go to that one place and see it. And if over time, if your
if your desired audience becomes aware of your website, then rather than you spending thousands of dollars sending out flyers in the mail really frequently, you might have a large base of visitors that just know, hey, I can go to their site to see what's going on right now. You know, even if they don't use Facebook, but they do use Twitter, or they don't use Twitter, but they do use Facebook, or they don't use Twitter or Facebook, but they'll go to a person's website, right? So it's just your home base to accomplish anything and everything that you want to accomplish. There was some stuff in the news off and on the past few years where in really big cities where underprivileged children and youth were really struggling, they started doing some different programs for educational purposes, and they were trying to teach people how to start their own businesses. And I absolutely fell in love with this educational initiative, because what's more powerful in education than properly teaching a person how to utilize everything that they have available to them right now in this moment in time, so that they can provide a service that they are naturally talented at, or so that they can sell a product that they naturally have the means to produce, or so that they can, you know, start a church or start a charity, or raise money for a loved one or for a good cause, or maybe they've made some kind of incredible discovery and they want to share it with the world. They can do that, and they can be in control of their message and in control of their business and in control of their whole plan by creating this website, this one website that connects with the whole world. And I really feel like learning to code and learning to build a basic website is such a powerful tool. So what I have decided now, well, I kind of decided this last night and this morning. I had first thought about, okay, I'm going to make my first few videos and then I'm going to make people pay to get the rest of the tutorials. I'm not going to do that now. The structure for this is going to be, the videos are all going to be free. They're going to be 100% free. You can view them. On my website, eventually, once I get that part built, it's October 28th, 2015 right now. So, you know, I just launched this. But I'm going to opt into monetization programs and, you know, advertising things and things like that. So those things are going to show up in some of the various realms that this tutorial interacts with. So hopefully some of my visitors, you know, will come across products or advertisements that interest them in that way. Hopefully that might be a way that helps this course to generate some revenue. The other way that I'm going to hope this course generates revenue is just through donations. I'm hoping that people will come across these videos, do them in order, and go, you know what, this really helped me. I want to donate $1, or I would like to donate $100 or $1,000 or $100,000 or whatever they personally feel comfortable with. And, you know, just go from there, because I really, 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 really want to help people learn this stuff. And it should be free. It should be easy. There should be ways to learn how to do this easily for free. I kind of feel like with the way our world works and communicates right now, this is a skill that everyone should have, because if you have something to offer, why shouldn't you be able to give that to the whole world instead of just offering it to the people that you come in contact with in your community? You should be able to offer whatever you have to offer to the whole world. So that's my goal, and I hope this can help some people to achieve that. I'm going to end this video now because it's the longest one I think I've ever made, and I'm really excited about this project. The next videos are just going to be modifying that home page and then adding additional pages, We're going to make the home page beautiful. We're going to put images there. We're going to put text there. We're going to center align it. We're going to make sure it's Google mobile friendly. I'm going to teach you how to edit some images, how to make some logos, how to take beautiful HD images with your phone or whatever device you can, or web camera or whatever you can, and how to make those the right size and just put them on your page. I'm going to teach you about all kinds of things, how to make buttons to have multiple pages that your site links to. So it won't just be your index home page. You could have an about me page. You could have a contact me page. You could have, you know, any kind of page you can imagine. You could have a page that's your blog. You could have a page that's, you know, whatever you want it to be. I'm going to teach you how to do that. We're going to have a page where people can contact you and email you straight from that page rather than having to open up Yahoo or open up Google and log in. They won't have to do all that. They can just send you a message and it will include your name and your email so that they can reply, or so that you can reply to them. So it's just going to be moving forward from this point. And it might take me a lot of time to make the video and explain it, but overall you're going to see it's a really simple process, and it's really a lot like riding a bike. Wow, did I say a bike? It's like learning to ride a bike. HTML5 and CSS3, the way these files are structured and the way they're organized, once you get it, you just get it. And you might not really enjoy riding bikes anymore when you're when you're older, but you still remember how. And it might feel uncomfortable, but if you got on a bike, you could do it again, right? It's just like that. So you're going to be really happy with what you learn. And contact me with your questions. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and God bless you. I really hope that these videos find some people and help them out. Have a good one. Bye.